Good day and welcome to Dream Big. So today I'll be discussing my journey into business and exactly how things came about as I ventured into becoming an entrepreneur. My journey started in February 2015, where I made the decision to actually start the business and venture into becoming a young entrepreneur. Having been employed for a period of 4.5 years, overlooked for many promotions and opportunities to grow within the business, I decided to take the leap of faith and start my own business, venturing into a field of which I knew very little, however was able to acquire the necessary research and skills needed for me to succeed in this field. The journey began by me putting together my business plan and deciding to pitch this idea to an investor, Shane Martin. Once the idea was pitched to Mr. Martin, he reviewed the business plan and saw that there was potential in this particular area and decided to go into business with me and fund the startup. In terms of support from friends or family, there was very little support. Most people thought that it was an impossible task for someone like me to achieve, to actually go in and start up my business. There was one person who believed in me from day one, and that was my girlfriend then, Colin, present now wife, Colin Brown, who really stood by me and believed that I was able to make a success of the business. With her backing and also Shane Martin coming alongside me, I was able then to take the leap of faith, resign from my employer and actually go full steam into running career growth staffing. We then entered the first year of business, which was a relatively slow year. Having to start a new business with no database, no candidates, no clients is always a very difficult task. However, we pushed through, having one employee to begin with, then moving on to the second employee. We were able to sign our first few clients through various marketing strategies, various tools, and just finding any and every means possible and necessary to bring clients on board. One of the biggest reasons for venturing into business was for me to be able to achieve freedom. Freedom in the sense of being free from being controlled by an employer, free from having to work for an organization, putting in the hard yards and achieving very little in return, but also financial freedom, which being an entrepreneur has definitely assisted in. If I was still employed by my employer 3 years later, I think I definitely would not be in the financial position that I am today. And that was a big motivating factor for me, and will continue to be a big motivating factor for me moving forward as I venture into different business ventures. I then found myself in a position where I was needing to employ more staff. 2 new staff members were added to the team, and the team is beginning to grow, and all of a sudden things are starting to look like it's taking shape. The third year of business for career growth staffing was probably the most challenging year, having learned the most lessons in the third year. Some tough decisions were needed to be made, and also just looking at the direction in which the business was taken and deciding whether or not it was the direction in which I wanted the business to venture into. The 2 biggest lessons learned in this past year was, number one, that building good relationships with your clients is probably the most important thing in order for you to build a successful brand. The second lesson that was learned was the importance of financial management and managing the finances which come in at a certain point in time correctly in order to ensure that you are able to sustain your business in the quiet periods. And I think those are the 2 biggest lessons that I've learned in the last 3 years of running the business. The first couple of months of starting any business is hard. However, it has been proven time and time again that it can be done. It's just a matter of applying yourself and being aware of your strengths and also being very aware of your weaknesses. Career growth staffing has now become a trusted brand in sourcing IT talent across South Africa. It wasn't always the case from day one. However, the business has grown and the brand has grown to such an extent that when our clients need an IT resource, we are the company that they pick up the phone and call. Brand awareness is a key component in building a successful business. Your brand needs exposure and your brand needs strength, and those are the 2 things which really determine the success or the failure of your business. Is how strong your brand actually is. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay tuned to our social media platforms for more tools and useful tips on how you can successfully start your small business. Thanks so much for your time. Cheers. Bye.